made it. We're live. Nobody will ever know, but I hit the wrong button to start. So we are live, and we are back with my friend. And so there is a ton of stuff happening, and I want to just keep it real off the top of this is that I'm honored to talk to you and to be able to just share in life experiences. And I think I always say, like, when things get weird, when things get hairy, when things get tricky, when people are saying things out loud that might not be all the way true or the whole story, it's always nice to be able to like go back to the people that you respect and know that you know what's going on. And so I know that a lot of people are going to watch the beginning of this video, and I know that they're going to be very curious to see what we talk about, what you say, what happens, and all those things. There's a couple of things that I want to say, and then we're going to move on. The first thing I'm going to say is, if you want to know how we think and how we feel and about all of this situation, I'm going to plug another video that we did a few weeks ago where this conversation happened. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to say is, I am always going to support the person that doesn't need to be loud and doesn't need to rush to judgment and share all of things that might not always be the true story. And I have tweeted certain things, and I've said in my tweets, I'm riding with you. I said publicly on other people's stuff where they're saying all this stuff. I'm like, I am going to stand in what I know, and I'm going to wait for things to work themselves out. And when they do, I will accept any apologies from anybody that wants to line up and say, you know what? Like, shout out to you for being loyal to the people that you know and the people that you care about. And so that is all I'm going to say about that. And everything's going to work itself out like it always does, because that's how life happens. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So if you're wondering what we're going to have to say and all these things, that's what we have to say. The other thing, and the last thing is, and then we'll get into the game, is because you now have all this money, let's talk about why you stayed at the Red Roof Inn. Let's talk about why you're at the Red Roof Inn in Lubbock, Texas. Of all places you could have went with all that money, why did you decide Lubbock, Texas on a Saturday night? I would love to know that. The people deserve to know why you decided to do that.
Hey, budget. It was in my budget.
Seriously, how was your experience? How was Lubbock? I think everybody now has an understanding of why I've said from jump, Lubbock is an interesting place. It is its own place. It has its own unique experience of fans. I will not tell you, I don't agree with everything the fans do. I never will.
Right.
But I tried to tell people, and they were like, it can't be that bad. I'm like, so again, shout out to myself, because those people haven't come back and been like, oh, you were right. Oh, you were right about that. So how was your experience landing in Lubbock? How did you like it?
Well, before I got off the plane, I could tell like the only paved road was the airport runway within a few miles. So that was quite interesting. And I got off the plane and I see like 10 dudes that look like Baker Mayfield, you know, with the beard combo, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, this is cool. And then I see a big mural of Patrick Mahomes. I'm just like, okay, this is, definitely a football city, football town, you know, but nice people.
Yeah. They're, you know, I always say, just because people are a little bit different than you doesn't mean they're not nice. They're just different. Different. They're just different. And so when you got there and you got to the stadium, could you tell that it was already going to be like a little rowdy? Like, how did you feel like heading into it? What was the atmosphere? What was the energy like?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a big time football environment. I rode past the big noon kickoff when I arrived at the stadium, and you could tell the kids were just yelling at the top of their lungs and Raider power, all that good stuff. And it was insane. I loved it, honestly. But you can tell they definitely invest a lot of money into their football program. The stadium was the biggest thing out there. You know, you can see it miles away, you know, similar to Nebraska, but it was a great environment.
Good. And before kickoff, how soon? Because like what I always say is like, you can always tell how fans think of a game by how soon the student section fills up. Right, because students are usually late to everything, right? But like when it comes to football, like Texas, Georgia, like the student section was packed before like an hour before the game. So
Yes,
the
yes.
student section for Tech.
It was packed. Like these kids were rolling in early. You could tell like they wanted to get a great seat. They came down
Yeah.
close, and their student section was very big though. It was
Hmm.
like spread out over like right behind the team, Colorado, and they were ready. They were ready.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was spread out.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, listen, it's Lubbock, Texas. So like, what else are they gonna like?
Yeah. What?
What else are they gonna do out there? I mean, just saying. Take
Yeah.
it to me whenever you want.
Right.
So the other thing I noticed in your vlog, and like always, I will put his vlog somewhere when you see a drop down link or when you see his picture or whatever. I'll make sure I put the vlog up so that you can see all the stuff. The other thing I noticed too was the horses. How often did the horses come out? I don't remember them.
Yeah. So they came
Or
out
was it
quite
one
a few.
horse? Or
Yeah, it was one horse. It
okay.
was a I guess a raider, a lady raider, and she ran out whenever they scored a touchdown and all that good jazz. And they had of course their mascot. I think his name is Yosemite. What? It's
I don't
something. He's yeah.
nobody
He's
knows. Nobody cares.
yeah. But yeah. The horse ran out like a few times. Yeah.
Okay. How did the horse react when they were throwing tortillas?
The horse was well trained.
The horse
It
was
didn't
cool.
stop.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Because
well trained.
usually, like like if you're gonna be throwing stuff,
Yeah,
that's not a safe environment.
at
And
all.
so, listen, let's talk about their tortillas. So, like I said, they've been doing this crap for years. No, they're not supposed to have tortillas. They
Right.
check to make sure they don't have them. They always have put stuff in them. They'll go to concession stands. They'll put it's a disaster. It's always been that way, and it
Right.
is why nobody likes to go play a Tech. Like this is not new. But what was it like being there? And like, because I feel like I told you, but I don't know if I like told you, you know what I mean? Like I told
I,
you, but it's like it's different when somebody tells you versus being in there and you're like, oh, they're really
yeah.
gonna throw this crap.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it before. It's just been so long, like since I've seen them do that because, like, honestly, they haven't been that great since Pat Mahomes. But that's otherwise. But I have a little souvenir that I want to bring on the show. I got hit in the head with this tortilla. I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, I'll keep it. Why not? It's an experience. But that's my little trophy. From the game. But
It's I have so many mixed feelings. It's like I like traditions. I
mhm,
think it's cool. I think that's what makes sports, right? Or everybody's
right,
traditions.
right.
If they would just stick to the tortilla throwing and nothing else and didn't try to get it on the field, I would actually really love it. Like throw the tortillas amongst the crowd. Maybe if it hits, get on the players, it's fine. It's just a tortilla. But
Yeah.
my issue is when you're trying to fling it to get on the field, when you are filling it with other stuff and it's starting to hit players, like that's taking it a little too far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
uh,
It was like a technique to it too, though. They put like circles in the middle. Like if you can see the ones that Shador signed. Like there's a circle in the
oh,
middle.
that's
I
what
guess
those
it's
were.
I guess it's like so they can sling it and toss it like aerodynamics, something like that. But it was a circle in all the tortillas so they could throw it. But we're a situation like when I parked to walk towards the stadium. This dude, he was just like. I have some tamales. He's like, you want some tamales? I'm just like, no, I'm okay. I just ate.
Yeah.
But he was like, you want some tamales? I have homemade tamales. I was like, no, I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you. It was very random.
I wonder if it was really tamales or if it was tortillas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, spoiler alert, like, we're not going to get demonetized for this, but like, I've lived in a world where people kind of say you want this and it's really that.
Something.
So,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was code for like, you want a pack of tortillas? They're
It
not
was so
selling
weird.
drugs, they're selling tortillas.
Tortillas. Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
so weird. It was so
Oh my gosh. So, okay. So, how was the stadium noise in your video? You showed obviously the speakers and stuff from the band and stuff like that. But how was the noise just when it was noise, when it wasn't band, when it was just fans?
Oh man, the stadium was rocking, especially during kickoff. Um,
Mhm.
like it was so loud. I think the players were kind of shocked for a minute. Of course they kick off the ball and everybody's just loud. And then next thing you know, tortillas start flying everywhere. I'm like, oh, what's going on? I have my camera. You can see in the video, and the players were actually stunned. But Texas Tech, like right after that, they had a big play, and I
Yeah, they
think that's
ran it
like,
back to like
yeah,
the 50. Yeah.
right. And then that's when they threw the ball for like they got down in the red zone. But
Hmm.
that was definitely a very quick, fast-paced experience, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Those are the fun things about games that it's like people won't understand until you go to a game and you're the home, well, and the fans are good. Because like no matter what what I think about Lubbock, what I think about like the tortilla throw and all that stuff, Texas Tech has some really good fans.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they're there, they're present, they're going to cheer for their team. Do they take it too far? Of course they do. But I respect I respect that loudness and that into the game and any fan base that like cheers on third down and get
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
like that. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And so minus their tortilla stuff, kudos to them for just like showing up and being there for like their team. Their team's just not very good, but that's a whole different conversation for a different day.
Right,
so,
right. They were very
so
passionate. They were very passionate, and their staff was amazing. I can't say that they
that's
had
good.
amazing staff. So.
So how was it for you being there recording, seeing this huge momentum, almost knowing the players are kind of like, oh, no, they're really gonna okay. How was that for you? Were you like, guys, snap out of it,
I
like
was
get
like, "Come
focused?
on, guys!
Because
Yeah, come
it
on,
kind of
guys!"
kept happening, right? Like
Yeah,
three and
it
out,
just
and then they got the ball back, and it was like,
yeah, yeah. It was a struggle. It was a struggle in the beginning, but the players stayed focused and they found a way, to play through the adversity. But the crowd was in it. The crowd was in it until the fourth quarter, until
yeah,
it just became too much of a deficit. But they were in it.
yeah. How did you feel? At what point did you start to feel better? Like, at what point did you say, all right, okay, we're kind of trying, like, I see us trying. Like, I see, like,
I would have to say halftime because we were down like it was 13-10, I want to say, and
mhm,
I was like, okay, we're getting back into it, and I can see them starting to slowly but surely lose momentum, which was a good thing. So, yeah.
cool. I have all these little things happening on my feet, and I thought it was a bug.
Uh oh.
So just listen, if a bug ever makes an appearance, I, I can't, I just, like, whatever,
We got to keep
just
that in
leave
there
me
too.
alone.
We got to keep it
Like,
in there.
like, but it was a cord. So
Oh.
okay, sorry. So like that's all I was like. Okay, yeah. If a bug ever comes, like all bets are off. All bets are off, and I don't apologize for how I acted because it is what
Yeah.
it is. So okay, so halftime happens. They come back out at half, and you're like, all right, we're going to be fine. Like this is going
Yeah.
to be fine. We're going to be okay. That's not bad though. Having a half of a little bit of like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this,
It,
and then
it
coming
was
back.
it was a little nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's like okay, we traveled all the way out here, and you guys are
Forgot
starting
today's the
slow.
game. Yeah.
Exactly. Today's the game. We're
Mhm.
starting a little slow. Like, come on, guys. We're better than this. And they weren't that good. They just capitalized on messed up plays. So yeah, that
Like people get mad at my videos of like they're not good, and
they're
people are
not
like,
that
you
good.
know what? They
Yeah.
weren't very good. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I
Their
told
run
you.
yeah, yeah. Their running back was good. Taj Brooks.
Of
He's an
course.
NFL guy, but other than that, nah. Yeah.
No, they don't do anything special. They just don't do anything special. And if you stop the run, you'll beat them. That's just how, I mean, I don't know. I know people get confused, but like I actually watch football all the time. So I can tell you what I'm seeing. So
Yeah.
the other thing we usually talk about is so there was something that I wanted to mention to you that I saw on TV, but I'm not sure if you actually saw it when you were in the when you were there. But they kept showing like the sidelines of like Coach Prime, like arguing. He wasn't arguing. You could just tell he was visibly frustrated with something. I think that was that the tortilla throwing. Was that after the whole ball boy thing? Like
Yeah, so
Or was he?
that was when they started throwing water bottles and all type of other objects.
Got it. Okay.
He was getting pissed because it's like they keep throwing this, like that's illegal. There's no
Yeah.
way you should be able to
Okay.
go into somebody else's stadium and they're allowed to throw things at you,
Right.
and they not get a penalty. And then of course Texas Tech's head coach, he stepped in. He was like, "Stop throwing stuff on the field," you know.
Oh, see, we didn't see
Yeah.
any of that.
Oh, y'all did it.
No, he made so the head coach made an announcement.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's when they told everybody we'll throw a whole section out. We'll start throwing out sections. I was like, okay.
interesting. You know what's interesting is I don't think I saw that on TV, and I don't remember seeing that on TV. So on TV, all we saw was you could tell Coach Prime was visibly frustrated, but you couldn't really tell what he was frustrated with because it was like players were around and coaches were around. So it was like, is it a sideline thing?
Right.
I couldn't tell. And then you would see people throwing stuff, which on TV looked like tortillas, which now that I'm guessing probably wasn't. So,
Yeah, it
Coach,
was
okay.
water bottles. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't, and somebody that watches this will tell me in the comment section below if it, what was going on. I just don't remember the commentators telling us that the head coach had to make that announcement. So, listen, I've been on the positive receiving end of fans throwing water bottles on the field. So I would be like, whatever if I didn't sit here and be like, and I said in my video, however, it's wrong. You shouldn't throw water bottles on the field. Don't do that, fans.
In Texas, yeah.
Unless you're playing Georgia and they got the call wrong, throw the water bottles. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah.
The other thing is, before we get to our players of the game, offense player of the game, defense player of the game, how were the refs there for you? Like, how did you think the refs were calling the game present, like watching it?
Right. So I feel like in the beginning they were giving calls to Texas Tech, but towards the end they were giving calls to Colorado. So it kind of balanced out, and they recognized that some of the calls they were missing, and they had to make it fair. So I would say in the end it was all fair.
So you probably don't go back and watch the games. That was one of the worst officiating games I'd ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
Like touchdowns that shouldn't have been touchdowns. One time they was supposed to be 3rd and 1 and they made it 1st and goal. Like it's just I'm like I don't understand if you miss pass interference or holding or stuff like that. But how do you not know what down it is? Yeah.
Did they show on TV when the ref kept changing the time? Like, well, he was saying like, oh, it's 3:25. He's like,
it was
no,
all over the place.
3:44. Then back to 3:15. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then like one ref would do the thing where basically the clock is supposed to run or stop or whatever whatever he was signaling, and then another guy would come in and say something. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is once you let the game get away from you and it's already so bad, they're humans. They also know that it's bad. Right. And it just messes up everything. But I've been complaining about this. I'm like, these refs are so bad. Give them support. Pay for another guy or two to be in the booth or to be on the field or something, because they missed. And I don't even want to say what, but they missed so many things that I'm just like, this is terrible. But
yeah, I know what it is though. I know what it is. They're nervous. They know millions of people are watching this game and they have the power to determine the results. So it's like, it's so many eyes on them. I can understand that they make a mistake.
But if you're, but it was bad in BYU, Utah. It was bad.
Yeah.
And what was that other game? I mean, I don't think I watched a game. Don't even get me started about the NFL. I mean, they're awful. I mean, they're piss poor, straight up. Like there's bad college football. The NFL's piss poor. Like NFL, we don't even know the rules. We're like, oh, that's not the rules. The guy Gene Sarator, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, that should be this. It should be this. And then they're like, no, it's not that. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Nobody knows the rules. So it is what it is. And Colorado won the game. and they get to go on to next week. I've made my video about my frustrations because that's what I do. But they have a great opportunity here to play a team that is going to be on their 97th string quarterback. But that defense of Utah isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
They're Colorado's at home. And oh wait, let's talk about our players of the game. So who would be your offense and who would be your defensive player of the game? And just so everybody knows that's listening to this, we never pick Shador and we never pick Travis Hunter because they are obviously the answers. So we try to pick other people that showed up for us, that we saw that we liked because we know the answer is Shador and Travis. So we got it. But I'll do offensive first. Jordan Seaton, I'm going with Jordan Seaton. And not only is he agile, but I'm seeing him do things. I'm seeing him react to the things that he's seeing. Mm-hmm. That is phenomenal. Like I'm seeing him, you know what I mean? Like I'm seeing him just slow up his footwork or speed. Like I'm seeing him make reactions based on what he's seeing. And that's either film study or instinct. I don't care what it is, but it's amazing that he's able to like do the things that he's doing as a freshman. Even when Shador scrambles and does the twisty things I hate and all the things, like he still is able to like stay focused and do his job. So like shout out to Jordan Seaton because that's remarkable being a left tackle and being a freshman. So shout out to him for that.
Yeah. I'm so excited for him, man. The upside in his future is just so bright. Mm-hmm. But for offense, I would have to say, excluding Travis Hunter, who played great, I would have to
he's
say
always the answer.
The receiving core, core, like the whole receiving core, LeJounte and my guy 14.
Will Shepherd.
Will, yes.
I was going to call him Will Howard.
Yeah, Will. That was a great catch in the end zone. He caught. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the receiving core, they're so consistent. Even though Jimmy Horn unfortunately went out for this game, and like Coach Prime mentioned in the press conference, he said they had packages for Jimmy this game. They just weren't able to execute because of his injury. But the receiving core, they stepped up. So
good. I honestly, the only answer on defense is the entire defensive line. If you say anyone else, you don't know football. The answer to who had a great game on defense for the Colorado Buffaloes is the entire defensive line. Mm-hmm. Everyone, every single person did exactly what they were supposed to do in their position. And some of them did even above and beyond what they were supposed to do for this game. And they showed up, they did exactly what they needed to do against that offensive line. So, and anyways, that's my answer. I don't know what your answer was going to be, but don't screw this up because there's only one answer.
Yeah. Yeah. The defensive line, man. Defense wins championships, and these guys have been playing so hungry. No, let me tell you what it was. When they were throwing everything at these guys, like Dion said, they threw everything at me but my mom. but it was so interesting to see the switch turn on.
Ooh,
they were like,
I like
these people are throwing stuff at us. That's pissing us off. Switch. They started throwing the guys like out of bounds. It was crazy. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it.
That is what I need.
Yeah. Is aggressive. Yeah, aggressive.
Like get after it. Mm-hmm. Get after it. If the guys behind you aren't doing their jobs, that's not your problem. Get after it. Go after the quarterback. Like go. Make it happen. Get in his passing lanes. Get your hands up. I don't care. Like do whatever it takes to. I love that. They played well.
Can I also mention something? I want to give a big compliment to a guy that goes, I don't think he gets enough credit as he should, Coach Mo. He has those guys. He has those guys ready. They're conditioned. They are able to play 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And even overtime if they have to.
I love that. That's something else you don't see on the TV screen is, again, I have complaints about this. It's like they show you like the field, but then most times it's like there's a graphic coming up, or they're showing us the fans, or they're showing us the stadium, or and I'm like, show us the field or the players. That's all. We're not here to see we're not here to see this crap.
Right.
Like, I'll give you, even show us the cheerleaders or the band, because they're a part of it. But I don't want to see the skyline. Like, show me like the field, show me who's running in and out. So that's good. I think that's a really, really, really good observation, is that they're on that sideline getting pissed off. I need you pissed. I need you fired up.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Doing his job too.
I like it.
I love Sap, man.
Good. And you know what? And feeding into Utah, that's going to be the difference for me. Like the battle of the trenches. Like this is the moment, right? Like, respectfully, Texas is not that good. Arizona's not that good. You know what I mean? Like UCS, the offensive line's not very good. You know what I mean? Like the hardest challenge that they are going to face this year from the offensive line, not mentioning Kansas State, because obviously we've been there, done that. They're fine, is going to be Utah. And they're going to have to step up to the challenge. And that's the ball game. Do I think they can? Of course. But it's like, that's the game. And so it's nice to see them have that moment against Tech. And now they get to be at home. No one's going to be throwing crap at them. You know, like, stay focused and win this game, because they're in the driver's seat. Like, the goal is to get to the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
Go win football games.
Right.
And they'll...
Yeah, like before the season, I had this game circled. I was thinking Cam Rising was going to be, healthy and ready to play, but the Buffs, it's an advantage. They're on the third string quarterback, so why not?
No, they're on their fourth string.
Fourth string? Oh, well.
So the guy that played last week broke his something.
Again? Okay.
They're on their neck. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is it. Like, this is the moment. So, if I look up and Colorado is getting ran all over, when the quarterback is probably going to do a lot of running, I don't know what to tell you guys. So this is the game. And again, like, this is what you play for. So the other thing is, I want to talk a little bit about Shador after the game, because he was very intentional. And in my opinion, I felt like he was looking for somebody, and he was kind of looking around, and he was interacting with the fans, and he was doing what he normally does, because he seems to be like a great human as far as like that fan interaction. And then when he got the phone, I was like, he's trying to find somebody. Mm-hmm. And was that a teacher?
Yes, he was looking for his teacher, high school teacher.
I love that. Shout out to all the teachers grinding out here that don't make enough money, that will never get the praise that they deserve, that are just changing people's lives. Like, shout out to the teachers, and shout out to Shador for wanting to make sure that he not only saw his teacher, talked to his teacher, hugged his teacher, took a picture with his teacher, gave his shoes to somebody that looked like was with his teacher. So just like, if you're a teacher and you're listening to this, like, shout out to you. I'm a professor, so it's a little different for me. Like, my life's a little different than teachers, but they are the ones that are changing lives, and like, shout out to them. So and shout out to you for like showing it, because the whole time I was like, something's happening. I just couldn't make up like something's going on. And then I saw him go over there, and I was like, oh, put that in my notes. Going to ask the question. Okay, so then game ends. And you we want to talk about all the things you did, but one thing that you did do is headed to your Red Roof Inn with all the money that you're making. You headed to the Red Roof Inn. And what was that like? How long did you stay there? I've never heard of a like few hours. Like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's going on?
So I'll say this. I looked at hotels months ago. I do everything in advance, and hotels were like $300 a night. I'm not paying $300 a night. I'm not paying $400 a night.
Not
and the closer you got, exactly. The closer you got to the game, it was like $435 for a hotel for one night. I'm just like, okay, not happening. But luckily, I went on Priceline. Sponsor me. But
shout out to Priceline.
And they had a hotel, Red Roof Inn, the Texas Tech Red Roof Inn hotel. And I was like, okay, this will be fine. I'll only be there for a few hours. My flight was the next day, and I went in the vlog. You just got to see what happened in the vlog. But I was able to find a warm, nice place, clean,
To lay your head.
Yeah, just to lay my head for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
complain. Yeah.
I always say, if you give me a hot shower and somewhere I can lay down, listen, I'm sold. I've
Yeah.
been through worse.
Exactly.
I stayed in
Exactly.
college dorms, okay? Like, I've been through worse.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so how far was that Red Roof Inn from the stadium?
About 10 to 12 minutes. It wasn't that
Okay.
far. It wasn't that
Okay.
far.
Okay. Cool. So, is there anything else that you want to tell us about your experience at the game, or what you're looking forward to heading back to Colorado? Any thoughts that you want to share with us just about your overall trip that maybe I didn't answer? Or, I always kind of like to give you I'm trying to do better at like opening it up for people to talk about what they want to talk about. So I want to open it up for you if you have anything else that you want to share or anything.
Yeah. So one thing that stood out to me was the fans. I want to shout out to the fans because their support for the team and that
Oh, the
a lot
Colorado
of
fans.
Yeah, the Colorado fans, like some of them noticed me from my vlogs and different things like that. And we had I had a whole conversation with multiple fans before the game
Oh,
started,
that's
and
nice.
it was great, and they were just asking. Well, they were from Texas, and they were like, "This is our first game here. We've never seen them before," and it's just like they were asking me, "So, will Shador sign this or will Travis sign?" I'm just like, "It's not going to happen before the game. They're focused. They're locked in, guys." But you never know what may happen after the game. So,
Yeah.
but they really show up and they support the team each and every weekend. This may be their first and last time seeing these guys play in live action. So, shout out to them and shout out to Shador, man. He gives back. He gives back. Not many times will you see a quarterback of his stature, and someone who's highly acclaimed, like stay after and make sure he greets everyone. And one thing I also want to mention, he played football in Texas, so this is his home state, and I feel like that meant a lot to him as well. So,
Good for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that. And just shout out to like good people,
mm-hmm. Good
you
people.
know, just being a good human, just, showing love because you've been shown love. Like, it's never undefeated. You
Right.
can never, I don't even care. So now I'm going to make this about me. I'm in this place in life where it's like, it's not about, yes, I want love shown back to me, but it's more important to me to show out love and exuberate love and to give love and to give, you know what I mean? Like somebody just might need you to say, "Hey, that looks nice today," or "Hey, good job," or "Hey, I know you're tired." Like, good for you for finishing that. Like just giving like those little words of encouragement
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way because nobody ever can get mad at you for giving them a compliment. So like,
Yeah.
if you see somebody doing a good job, tell them. They might need to hear it.
Right.
I know I'm like that sometimes. Like sometimes I'm just going and doing it. I'm making videos. I'm saying all this stuff. And it's nice sometimes in my comment sections when people are just like, "Hey, I appreciate this." Like, I'm not going to agree with you, but I appreciate this. Like, thank you. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, don't forget to be kind because it's undefeated
Mm-hmm.
always. So we will end this here. We are going to end this on me being petty as hell. So I do want to say that the loudest person in any room is never going to tell you the whole story. And that's why they have to be loud. And I'll just leave it where it's at. We'll end this here. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your vlogs. I appreciate having this conversation with you. And I know a lot of people don't know this about you, but I appreciate your honesty and your respect and the way that you show up for people and your consistency. And I appreciate the fact that you know who you are and you don't have to defend it. And that's admirable. So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
You are
that.
very welcome. And we will see you all next week after the Utah game.
Of course. See y'all later. Peace.